Well, my name's Kate Bingley. Where have I come from? I've come from the southeast of England. I've got Scottish roots. Been living in London, living on and off in West Africa as well. Where do I come from? It's always a big question. But I'm new to Hay. I came to Hay in October. I'm employed by the town council, managing what's called the Two Towns, One World project, which is funded by the European Commission and the Welsh Government. It's all about deepening and broadening the link between Hay-on-Wye and Timbuktu in Mali. And it's about getting more people involved in that link here in Hay. We're conducting a baseline study at the moment. Now that means we're trying to find out what people think about the link with Timbuktu, what they know about Timbuktu, whether they actually know that Timbuktu exists and where it is in the world, and also what people's attitudes are to development issues, and whether they think that there's a role for the UK, whether it's around voluntary support to development or the government giving money and supporting developing countries.
Why should we care?
Why should we care? I think in this day and age nobody can really sit in their own isolated little corner. I think we're all very connected globally. Everything we do has an impact globally. We need to be aware of what's going on the other side of the world. We're in quite an exciting position really to have that unique link with Timbuktu. So how can we draw on the resources associated with that link, whether it's people here who visit it and have a certain amount of experience and insight and lessons that they've learned or things that they've gained from visiting, and people also from Timbuktu themselves, whether it's visitors coming over or whether it's through email contact through the web using video links, all these sorts of things. We are going to be working with the schools in the Hay cluster, so with the primary schools and with Gwynafod High School, working with the teachers and looking at how best we can draw on that community link to develop resources and develop educational materials. So we're also very hopeful that we're going to get community groups more involved. There are 2 or 3 groups which are very much involved in the link, and we're obviously working with them, the medics, Hay to Timbuktu, Jump for Timbuktu, but we're trying to encourage other groups to come forward and get involved, linking up with counterparts in Timbuktu, but also really with a view to learning about what are the similarities, what are the differences, but what are also the similarities in our lives, in the issues we face day to day, really. So whether it's about farming links or looking at parenting, for example, or how we, how do we treat, what do we do with our babies, how do we carry them, that sort of thing. There's all sorts of potential, looking at reproductive health issues here and here in Powys and in Timbuktu. And it's an opportunity to learn. I mean, it's an opportunity for contact with people that you might not ordinarily have contact with. And that's really exciting, especially for children, but for people of all ages. So the focus really is on supporting groups to plan and implement initiatives here, which are also linking to initiatives in Timbuktu.
Lastly, how are you finding Hay? It must be quite a shock coming from the city to a smaller village, but then you said you've grown up in the country. How are you finding Hay?
I did grow up in a village in the countryside, so it's not such a shock, but it is very different to where I was living before. I was living in the city, so Hay's it's obviously much quieter, much smaller. Actually, it's much smaller than I ever realised, because it does project this enormous identity, cultural identity. I mean, not just across the UK, but also overseas, and that's incredible, really. So I was shocked when I realised that the population is actually so small. But I really enjoy it. I find it very friendly. I like the fact that you see the same faces very often from day to day. You know, have a chat with people, have a chat as you go in the shops. You see people, and that's great. And there's a huge amount going on for what is for quite a small town.